কেউ বলে যে পয়জন করে দিয়েছে, হতে পারে।
क्या फरमा रहे हैं?
कोई बोलता है कि कोई पॉइजन दिया है।
किसको?
मुझको।
कौन बोलता है?
यही सब पेंशन।
কে বলেছে শ্রীল প্রভুপাদ?
ये बोले
कृष्ण
आपको कौन पॉइजन देगा, किस लिए देगा?
Who said that, Śrīla Prabhupada?
I don't know. It is said.
After exchanging greetings, Prabhupada surprises Mishra by saying, "Keu bole je keu poison kore diyeche," or something to that effect. Or then he says, "Hoito tai," that maybe it's true. He says, if somebody has given me, someone says that someone has poisoned, and that might be true. So this is startling to Balaram Mishra, who I'm sure expected nothing of the sort, and the Kaviraj also, who asks, "What are you saying?" And Prabhupada repeats the same thing in Hindi. Koi bolta hai je koi poison diya hai, that someone has given me poison. Or excuse me, just as he says that poison has been given, and Kaviraj asks to whom, and Prabhupada answers to me. And then the question comes, who says this? And Prabhupada answers, "Ye sab friends." So the use of the word friends in English is interesting, because that would indicate that he's referring to his English-speaking Western devotees, that someone amongst them has said this. So we don't know who that is, because Prabhupada never specifically mentions their name. So then Bhakti Charu asks in Bengali, "Ke boleche Śrīla Prabhupāda?" Who said this? And Prabhupada answers, "Ke boleche," and in a kind of a defeated tone, as if to say, well, it's repeating the same thing. He said, "Who said this? Who said it?" And well, it could either mean that everyone's saying it, or I don't know who said it, or it's a very ambiguous statement. And Tamal Krishna comes in and asks if it was Krishna Das, and he's referring to Krishna Das Babaji, because Krishna Das Babaji had been there earlier that day and had been talking with Śrīla Prabhupāda. So it's Tamal Krishna thinks that it was him. And then that whole section finishes with the Kaviraj saying, "Well, who would give you poison, and why would anyone do that?" And Tamal Krishna, of course, comes in and asks in English again, he says, "Who said that, Śrīla Prabhupada?" And Prabhupada says, "I do not know, but it is said." About 20 minutes later in the same conversation, the subject comes up again. So this time, the Kaviraj seems to be seeking some clarification of the question. And he repeats, "What is it that you have said about someone telling you that you had been poisoned?" And he specifically asks him, "Aapko kuch abhas hua hai kya?" Which means, did you have any indication? Did you feel anything? In other words, do you have any other evidence than simply having been told by someone? Is it just hearsay, or do you actually have any real indication that you've been poisoned? And Prabhupada answers to that, "Nahi. Aise koi bola." No, it's not like that. It's just that someone said. And when Prabhupada says this, then the Kaviraj lets out a kind of a groan of disappointment, which I take to mean that he's saying, "Oh, is that all? It's nothing at all." In other words, he seems to be saying that he doesn't take it that Prabhupada has had any real indication of having been poisoned. Prabhupada continues by saying that it is like that when it is given, that it's that this is the kind of reaction one expects when he gets poisoned, and it's written in some book. The koi kitab mein likha hai. So it's a bit unclear. Prabhupada mentions a book, so that he's read some book somewhere, but what book he's talking about, what kind of book he's talking about, that we don't know. Kaviraj comes up and starts speculating aloud about what Prabhupada might be talking about. And he gives several possibilities, one of them being raw mercury, kache mercury is the word he uses. And there are other things which can have a similar effect. Now, I don't know what exactly similar effect he means. Obviously, he's talking about Prabhupada's physical condition. So he must be indicating that there are some things. The first word I didn't quite catch. It sounds like kunkan, or it could be koikam. So, in which case it isn't a substance. But if kunkan is a substance, I haven't been able to find out what that is. But raw mercury could have a particular effect that is present in Prabhupada's body. That seems to be what the Kaviraj is getting at. But at the same time, Kaviraj has some difficulty believing that this is possible, just as he finished the last conversation, or the last segment, by saying, who could possibly do this kind of a thing? Here he says that a divine personality like yourself, who could even think of such a thing? If someone even thinks of it, then he must be a Rakshas. And so he seems to be, still speculating about it, but not able to believe that it's possible.